Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to our channel. This is a brand new channel called Common Sense and Logic. We're going to be talking about different subjects, and we're going to put it to a test to see if your knowledge or our knowledge could defeat common sense and logic. That something that we all have. We're all born with it, but somehow we haven't been able to learn how to, use it, develop it, and use it. Versus the information that you get from other people and see the reality of what's going on with all these events right now in this world. My name is Ronnie, and this is Caesar right here.
Hey, YouTube, what's up? Yes, this is Caesar, and welcome to our channel. Common Sense and Logic. We're just gonna pick different topics in every episode, break it down, try to use our common sense just to analyze the situation with the subject that we choose, current events, whatever is the hot topic in at the time.
Yeah, so we're gonna be talking about stuff. It's not about who's right or who's wrong between me and him. And of course, you guys out there, maybe eventually you guys will put in your comments. Give us your thoughts. But yeah, we're gonna be talking about that and maybe come to a connection point to where we're going to use our common sense and logic and see how that turns out to make sense for everybody. You want to pick a subject for today?
All right, well, yeah, I mean the hot topic right now, as everybody knows, there's a lot of chaos in the world, but right now here in our area, it's immigration in the United States. So let's talk about that, deportation and all that.
Yeah, that's been going around for about a month now. So a lot of protesting, a lot of fear, a lot of lies about what's going on and what isn't really going on. So that's where the common sense and logic comes in to play. Instead of sitting there and listening to the media, listening to all the lies and information, misinformation that they're giving us, we're going to use our common sense and logic and make it work for us, so that way we approach these situations in a better way.
Yeah, all right. So tell me what's going on right now with deportations. I know protests they started about a month ago. They're still going on, right?
They're
Right
still
now.
going on, and they're still going on strong. Some of the cities put a stop to that. They were getting out of hand, you know what I mean, and they still are. The fear is that they're deporting, brown people, right? Like my color, my skin color, So, but they're deporting Latinos, right? Not only Mexicans or Central Americans. They're saying that they're deporting everybody. And as I remember, Trump said that he was going to go after, criminals, right?
That's what he ran on. Yeah,
Yeah.
he ran for the presidency on that was one of the issues he was running on. That he was going to go after criminals, illegal that are here illegally in the U.S. So I'm not sure why people are surprised by that.
Yeah.
That's exactly what he stated when he was running for president.
So for you guys out there that are not using your common sense and logic, when he means, criminals, that could simply mean people that came in here or snuck in, right? Didn't go through the proper channels or procedures, and they snuck in here and they're here illegally. So that makes them a criminal.
Right. But I mean, to tell you the truth, from my understanding, they are going off after the hardcore criminals first.
No doubt, they are.
Yeah,
They are
and
doing that.
that's what he ran on when he was running for the presidency. That's one of the issues, which is I was all for it, man. Get rid of these criminals that are raping people, killing people, or whatever they're doing.
Yeah, these hardcore criminals that have a record. They have a record in the country that they fled from.
For sure.
You know what I mean? So yeah, like you said, a lot of criminals, killers, rapists, all sorts of bad, actors, what they call them, right? So they're here and they're trying to make this country better for us. So that's who they're going after. But the media is telling them that they're going after everybody.
Everybody's getting swept. But to be honest, yeah, they are going after the hardcore criminals. But at the same time, a lot of illegal aliens that are not really criminals are getting caught up in the mix. And the reason being, from my understanding, as you know, California is not a sanctuary state, is what they call it. So excuse me, California is a sanctuary state, so they're not cooperating with ICE as far as seeking out the criminals that they're really going after, the hardcore criminals. So with that being said, when that happens, they have to do their own investigations to try to find these hardcore criminals. So when that happens, they go to locations where they think these people are going to be at, and if it so happens other illegal immigrants are there that are not criminals, if they get caught in the mix and they're here illegally, like Ronnie said earlier, that's technically still a criminal, illegal criminal. So they're going to be caught up in the mix. So unfortunately, that's what's happening. But blame the state of California, man, for not wanting to help ICE find the real criminals. Yeah.
Yeah, and like you said, when we're having a private talk at the beach the other day, right? You said, why are they blaming Trump for all this? They should be
Right.
blaming Biden, right?
Yeah. So Biden, yeah, he's the one that let the floodgates open, man.
Yeah.
Everybody came over during that time, because it was just open borders.
Yeah.
So everybody was coming. Hardcore criminals were coming. So they should be blaming him for
Yeah.
allowing all these people.
I agree. Yeah.
What Trump is doing, he's just cleaning up his mess, And unfortunately, like I said, in the process, illegal immigrants that are hard workers here just trying to make a living, they're getting caught up. But unfortunately, they're here illegally, which still they're considered a criminal because the illegal means a criminal.
Yeah. And here's your common sense and logic. You guys should think and use your common sense and logic on that, because Biden is the one that opened the borders, right? Wide open. And like you said, everybody was coming in here unchecked, right? So now Trump had to come in and clean it all up.
Yeah.
So why is he getting the blame? You guys should be blaming Biden and his people, because not only that they opened the borders up for anybody to come in, but they didn't have no plan. They didn't tell anybody, hey, we're going to let all of you guys in here, but we're going to have a procedure to get you guys to stay here legally.
Right,
you know what I
right.
mean? So
a lot of these guys, I mean, they were not even checked. They're not checked for their past with the previous with the countries they were coming from. If they were criminals there, they weren't checked. They weren't vetted. So unfortunately, a lot of these people did have criminal past, and they're here
yeah.
in the U.S. And all Trump is doing is cleaning up the mess, man.
Yeah, and we got a lot of protesters out there. You know what I mean? To me, it seems pretty ignorant. You know what I mean? The way they're doing it, they're getting out of chaos. Like burning flags, burning cars, damaging property, private property. Disrespecting our president, the flag, our country. And I really don't think that that's the way to do it. You know what I mean? And
Definitely not. Apparently, they're shooting now at ICE agents, right?
Yeah. There was a shooting not too long ago, man, at a Texas facility, I think. And
Right.
a couple of agents got shot. You know what I mean? I'm not sure if it was very severe,
Yeah.
but I do know that they got hit. There was a raid too a couple of days ago over in Ventura or Camarillo, someplace over there at a pot farm, and
somebody got shot, right?
Yeah, they were protesting. They clashed. The agents with the people protesting, and one of the protesters, busted out a gun and started shooting at them too. So, wow. It's getting out of hand, and I personally don't like that. You know what I mean? These guys, they don't even know who they're defending. Put it that way. You know, they're protesting, and I know that they mean well, but you guys should do some research, use your common sense and logic as to why you're doing certain things. Because look, they're not out there just grabbing everybody, man. California is full of, brown skinned people. You know what I mean? So if they were just going after anybody, it's so easy for them to round them up and pick them up and let's go. You know what I mean? But they're not doing that.
Especially, they would have checkpoints if they were really getting all the brown colored people. They set up checkpoints, just sweep everybody, but it's not happening, man.
Not only that, but when they're protesting, man, and they're getting out of hand, come on, you could just grab them all right there and
at the protest, right?
Yeah, at the protest, dude.
Just line everybody up.
Exactly.
And that's not happening.
Obviously, right? Common sense and logic should tell you that's not happening, because if they come out here and grab somebody and then you go and interfere trying to defend them, first off, you don't even know why they're there, who they're going after. You don't know that person. You don't know if that person has a criminal record, right?
Right.
I mean, do you know your neighbors very well, 100%?
Not 100%.
You might know them for years. They don't know you, right?
Right.
They don't know me, my neighbors. I don't know them. Well, all I know, they might be murderers too. For what they know, maybe I killed somebody in my past. People don't know each other how you guys pretend people should, and you're defending someone that you have no knowledge of, and then you're getting up in the mix, and then you cry about it when they're being taken, or you
Right.
guys are getting checked out too. So you guys got to think, man, before you do all that.
Yeah. Hey, I'm all for protest. Just do it peacefully. Do it the right way, man. There's no need burn down cars, burn down your community, businesses, and all that. These business owners, they're hardworking people too, and you guys are just ruining their lives. So I don't see the logic behind that. It just doesn't make any sense at all. So if you're gonna protest, that's fine. You know, you have the right to protest. That's why I love America. You have the right to protest. Just do it the right way without violence and chaos, and it just doesn't
And
make sense.
disrespect to the
Yeah,
country, you know what
yeah,
I mean?
yeah, yeah.
And our
By
and our
burning the American flag, you're pretty disrespecting the country you live in. So
yeah,
it makes no sense to me, you know?
makes no sense, man. And that's very disrespectful to do. I mean, you guys want to be liked and you guys want to stay here. First off, look, most of the protesters are, probably born here, right?
Right.
And so they have the right to do that, you know what I mean? But they're taking it way out of bounds, you know what I mean? To like, burning the flag, disrespecting the country and the president, like I said, that's a huge thing. And if you don't believe me, then take your ass to any other country, then take your ass to the country where you're from and go do that over there, see what happens to you. Am I lying?
Yeah, they're not gonna tolerate that at all. And
Not at all,
other
man.
countries, especially Mexico, man, they have so much love for their flag. You can't even wear it as a patch on your back pocket because you're pretty much sitting on the flag when you do that. So
And you know this because you're Mexican background.
yeah, my parents are Mexican, so the flag is, it's
It's a
got to
big
be
no-no.
it's got to be respected,
Yeah.
So what they're doing here, burning down the flag, is yeah, they're doing it and it's allowed here. But go to any other country, they're not gonna let you do that,
Yeah.
man.
Go to any other country, man. My background is I'm from Guatemala. So go to those countries, take the American flag with you and fly it over there just to see what happens. I guarantee you're gonna get a beat down, man. That's not allowed to do that. Go over there and do everything that you're doing here, but do it the opposite, right? You're claiming you're an American, so go to any country and act like an American. Blast your music, carry your flag everywhere, speak only English, and demand things like, welfare and food and housing. See what you get. You know what I mean?
Right.
You're not going to get all that, man. So I don't know what gives you the right to do that here. And because you think that you were born here and you're a U.S. citizen, that's fine. But what you're doing is, how about your parents? How about your extended family? You know what I mean? Like, are they well documented? Do they have documents, or are they here legally or illegally? And you're creating a mess that maybe they're going to be looked at because of your own fault.
Right, you're putting their if you do have family members that are not here legally, you're putting them in danger by being out there exposing yourself, and the repercussions might end up with your family members as far as if they're here illegally, and I don't think that's what you want.
Yeah, you don't want that at all, man. Look, even these illegals that are here, hardworking, they're not even with you. Talk to them. Go out there and ask them if they're okay with you defending them in the way you're doing it by protesting and burning the flag and creating chaos. They're going to tell you absolutely no, man. They're not with that, dude. They're here for one purpose only: to work and make a better life. That's the only thing. You guys are putting the spotlight on them.
Yeah, yeah. I guarantee you that they don't want the attention because like I said, you guys are putting the spotlight on them, and they want to live un, undercover, without, because if they're here illegally, obviously they don't want to be recognized. They're just trying to make a living, working hard. But what you guys are doing is just bringing the spotlight to them, and it's not helping their situation at all.
Yeah, and these things have to happen. You know what I mean? Like, they have to get deported, whether you like it, whether I like it or not. It has to be done. You know why? Because it's been done before by Obama, by the Clintons, by Biden.
Yeah,
Every president that has been there has done the exact same thing. But common sense and logic, why is it that it's only bad now that Trump
yeah,
is doing it?
yeah. The funny thing is, nobody was protesting when that was happening. When Obama was deporting all kinds of immigrants, when the Clintons did it, when Clinton did it, and when who else did it? During
Biden did
yeah,
it. George did
Biden,
it.
correct.
They all done it.
So nobody was protesting at the time. So why is it now they're protesting just with Trump? I think it's just people hate Trump for whatever reason, and anything he does, he can't do no right. You know, everything he does is wrong according to
Well,
these people.
they hate
But
Trump because they're listening to the media,
that
and
too,
they don't
yeah.
even bother to do any kind of research.
Right.
They don't even bother to do anything but sit there in front of the TV and grab all these lies, go on social media and watch these half-ass videos, half-ass lies. You know what I mean? Like, you guys can't go by that. Use your common sense and logic. If you're not gonna do any research, if you're not gonna look it up or anything like that.
Yeah.
Like, for example, this is a perfect example. Common sense and logic. Why was Trump liked by the media and almost everybody? Every famous person wanted to be like him or right next to him before he even was thinking of coming, to go for the presidency. Why was he so liked?
Yeah, he was very popular amongst the media and celebrities, and everybody wanted to be hang out with him, be with him, whatever. But now that he ran for president, just people don't like it. I don't know.
Now they hate him.
Yeah.
The media, the actors, Hollywood, they all hate him. Why? You know what I mean? Like, because he's not going with their flow,
Yeah.
and you believe that he's one of the bad guys. You tell me, what purpose does he have of being there?
Right.
I mean, the dude was famous. He has the money.
Yeah.
He had everything that you could possibly want in this world. He had.
Right. From my understanding, it's just for the love of his country. He loves America. You
Yeah.
know? He wants America to be prosperous and be great again.
And and I hate to keep saying this, but it is this channel. It is about the common sense and logic. Like, if you go in there and simply Google how much was Trump worth before becoming a president, you're gonna get some numbers. And then Google how much is he worth now. You're basically gonna get almost the same numbers. Do that with any other president, you're gonna see a huge gap, because that's what it's called, the puppets, the bureaucrats. They get money from them. You know what I mean? So right. Trump is not being one of those puppets. Trump is just being a normal, regular guy, in a sense that, he wants to do everything right for the country and the people, not anybody else, not for the fame, not for the money, not for the likes, not to say he's powerful or anything like that. You know what I mean? Like, the dude is a straight up guy.
I think so too. I mean, a lot of people don't see it that way because, like you said, they're being brainwashed by mainstream media that's just constantly putting him down. Everything he does is wrong, and that's what they're buying into. But I mean, I see what I see. I'm a regular person. I really don't watch the news. I'm a regular person living through my life on a daily process, and what I see is what I'm going to express throughout these episodes.
There's a plane going around. So.
Ghetto bird.
Ghetto bird. But yeah, I'm not well read, and I used to listen to the news and go by that, but I started using my common sense and logic, and it opened my eyes to reality. You know what I mean? And it could do the same for you guys out there. Most of the stuff that I was listening and seeing on TV, it's all crap. It's all false. I mean, if you don't believe us, leave your comments. Question us, and anything that we're talking about right now, question it. You know what I mean? See if your arguments could kind of like not defeat what we're talking about, but just to see if you actually come to the truth, right? Because that's what it's all about. Listening to the media and saying something that someone else is doing versus what is really happening. Like, there's a lot of stories out there that people are getting, deported. And, of course, the family comes out and they're crying and they're saying that it's a nice guy and this and that, right? Nothing bad. But when they put their records out there, it turns out that they got some kind of crime on the record. So that's why they're being deported. Most of the time, not only is it that they have a criminal record, but they don't have their ducks in a row. And by that, I mean, they don't have papers. They're not even on the process of getting their documents. They've probably been here for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, and they still don't have their papers. Why is that?
Yeah, why is that? Why haven't they gone through the process of becoming a legal citizen, a U.S. citizen? What could it be? Laziness? They got lazy and they just don't want to do it. Who knows? Everybody, it's on a case by case, I guess, situation. You know, everybody's different, so who knows why that person hasn't gone through the process? It just doesn't make sense.
Yeah, and I don't think it's that hard. Maybe it might be right now because of the whole chaos that's happening, but it wasn't that hard to do.
No,
So
I heard it was pretty easy. My mom became a U.S. citizen, but yeah, they said it was pretty easy. It's just
yeah.
they're nervous about taking the test, or they think it's hard, but then it turns out to be pretty easy. And
Well, whatever the case is, it's
yeah,
their own fault, right?
yeah,
They didn't do it, so you can't blame anybody else but that own person, right? Um, but these things have to happen. It happens in every other country. There's no country out there that has open borders where they welcome anybody just to come right in without being vetted. You know what I mean? So they have to be checked out.
yeah, for sure.
In your country, in my country, you know what I mean? Um, like we said earlier, he's background Mexican and me Guatemalan. So I know what's going on with Central American in Mexico. You know what I mean? It's a dark side of Mexico that hardly anybody wants to talk about. They protect their borders pretty good too. You know
For
what I mean?
sure.
They don't let anybody just in. And Central American people, they just want to, kind of go through Mexico, not really want to stay in Mexico. They want to get to the dream right here in United States too, but because of the Mexican government, they're not getting there. They're not allowed to do that, and not only that, they get mistreated too. You know what I mean? A lot of bad things. You guys don't believe us? Then go ahead and you YouTube these things, Google it. You'll find the truth. You know what I mean? And hopefully, it will open your eyes to what's going on here and how lenient this government is being to everybody.
Yeah, the Mexican people have their own protests over there. As far as when either South Americans, the Venezuelans, or Central Americans want to pass through Mexico to get to the U.S., I, I I've seen where the citizens in Tijuana just protesting and pretty much telling them to get the f out of here. You know, they don't want them. Pretty much what you guys call racism over here.
Yeah,
They're doing it, but it's overlooked. You guys don't mention anything like that when they're calling Central Americans and South Americans names and telling them to get the hell out of this our country. You know, they're but like Ronnie said, they're tough with their borders and they're strict. So why is it an issue over here? I mean, when now that Trump's trying to be strict with the borders and doing the right thing, yeah, it sounds like hypocrisy to me.
yeah. Is it that or is it ignorance? You know what I mean? Like it's got to be one of the two. You guys pick. You know what I mean? We're not out here trying to call people names and all that, but it'll come out because anybody. You know what I mean? Like you can't do that.
Right.
Yeah, I mean you could. You guys are doing it, but it doesn't look good at all. Even, you know, and I keep talking about Mexico because it's so close to the border, right? Um, if you go over there, even their citizens are not even with you guys. They don't agree with what you guys are doing over here. In fact, I think that they hate you guys. They hate you guys. You
You
know what I
guys
mean?
being the Americans.
Well, the Hispanic Americans
Okay.
here.
Oh, got you.
Yeah,
Okay.
you know what I mean. I'm pretty sure the people from Guatemala are looking at people, the Guatemalans here that are doing the protesting and chaos. I'm pretty sure they're talking about it too. And I haven't talked to any of them because I really don't know anybody over there, so I have no connections. And I try to look up videos and stuff, but I can't really find any. I do look up like Mexico, what's going on in Mexico and all that, and I
Mm.
do find a lot of stuff. You know what I mean? There's a lot of people. I've talked to people here where they simply say, "No, it's not cool. We're not with that." You know what I mean? So I don't know where you guys are getting these ideas that everybody's behind you on this, but they're not. You're not doing a good thing for anybody.
Yeah, I agree. It's a bad look. It's a bad look to our what do you want to say, to our race? I mean, I don't know, us being Latinos, it's just not a good look. Especially destroying your cities, your communities. businesses and burning the flag and all that other stuff is it's not a good look at all. If you're gonna protest, and just do it the right way, man, peacefully.
Yeah, this has to happen, and it's going to continue to happen. They already said it. So now what I'm hearing is these city officials are getting on TV and they're basically telling illegals to stay home. How does that make any sense?
It doesn't.
Right? They're installing fear in all these people, and now you're basically, you know, making them prisoners of their own home.
Sounds like COVID, right?
Yeah, sounds exactly like COVID.
Sounds like
Yeah, that's a
that's
good one,
another
dude.
topic. That's another
That's going to
topic.
be another topic. We can still
Yeah,
talk about
yeah, it
that
sounds like
because
COVID.
it's still going on, I guess, a little bit.
Yeah.
But that's exactly right.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So now they're telling people stay home because you don't want to get grabbed and get deported. Like, so now people what? I do see the streets a little more, light traffic. You know what I mean? And that's
Sounds a lot like COVID, right?
yeah, that's bananas, man.
Yeah.
That's not cool at all. You know what I mean? If you ask me, that's not cool at all.
Oh, not all. Is yeah, putting fear in people is never never a good thing. I mean, it just shows you what type of people they are. You know, if they're scaring you to stay indoors and what have you. That's not what freedom's about.
No, look, instead of doing a protest like that, man, you should gather your families and help them out, especially if you're born here. If you're like, 20 something, you should have some kind of knowledge of the process of this country, of what you need to do, your character, what it needs to be here. You know what I mean? Because they look at all that, right? Again, we go back to other countries. They look at all that too. You know what I mean? They have a checklist, man. You don't believe me? Check it out. Just say, hey, what are the requirements of becoming a citizen in this country, or just to go and live there and buy property and
Yeah, a lot of money, and a lot of money, and a lot of hurdles.
a lot of requirements,
easy.
man.
It's not
So
easy.
they have a checkoff list, dude. And if you don't, check any of them off, you're not welcome there. You know what I mean? Right now, there's American people in Mexico that are literally being kicked out by Mexico citizens. And I don't understand it why. It's not really the same thing. They're there legally.
They went
They're-
there legally with
yeah.
their proper visas and
Proper paperwork.
Proper
and their
paperwork.
government said, sure, come on in. We welcome you guys. You know what I mean? Because they're taking American money over there. You know what I mean?
but the Mexican people are being racist towards them by calling them gringos. Get
Yeah.
the hell out of here.
They're writing on walls, kill a gringo, kill a white boy.
Oh,
And, that sucks, right? I mean,
of course.
People are going to say two wrongs don't make a right, and people are going to say, well, if they do it here, we're not over there. I'm just saying, common sense and logic. If they're over there legally, they didn't sneak in. These people did. That's the huge difference.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you guys can't compare that, and yet they're being booted out. They're being treated like hopefully they don't won't end up getting hurt, but the videos I've seen, they're being threatened. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
they're going about it the wrong way over there too. But yeah, man, this is going to continue, and hopefully you guys you listen to this video and maybe other people, you know what I mean, that are talking
Mhm.
about it. And this needs to happen a lot more too. You know what I mean? Like these type of talks, whether we like it or not, it needs to happen, because without communication, then we're never going to get there. We're never going to get to a peaceful meeting per se. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
we need to break these barriers and conversate with one another and see what people are thinking, because that has helped me a lot.
Yeah.
I talk to people outside in the streets. I talk to people in church, and it doesn't matter the race, their skin color. I like talking to them and see what I get from them. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? And that's how I got here to this place, and my state of mind on how I think. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
That's the right way to do it. Just have conversations, respectful conversations, not putting each other down or raising your voice or arguing or getting violent. The right way to do it is just having conversations and seeing everybody's, what do you call it, opinion and knowledge of the situation, and finding a middle ground where you're gonna meet and figure out what the right thing is, what common sense, what's common sense telling you.
And we're making this channel because we talk about common sense and logic, right? So there's a lot of examples out there, especially on this topic, this subject. I have a couple of neighbors, real cool people, man. It's a mom and her two sons. They're adults, men. And we're talking about this whole thing a couple of days ago. They have a shop over in LA someplace. We're in California here, and so we're talking about it real quick. The mom has a little bit of fear, but she's a citizen, and naturally, you know what I mean. We all have that, I guess. You know what I mean, because
Not me.
we get sucked into those.
I'm not.
No, I'm not
I'm
either.
not.
Yeah, I'm not either. But I'm talking about most of the people, right? We get
So a
sucked
lot of
into
people are scared for no reason.
Right.
They're legal citizens, like
No,
just because they're Hispanic. I'm
we
like,
hang out. We go to work every day. We go to the beach. You know
we're
what I
out and
mean?
about, man. There's no need to be fearful.
Yeah,
Man.
even for
If
COVID, we
you're
were
if
doing
you're
that.
legal and you got your paperwork, what are you scared of? You know?
Yeah, you know what I mean. So the mom has a little bit of fear only because of natural mom, right? The kids could be 90-year old and they still their own babies, their kids. So anyways, some stores got raided around where they have their place.
Okay.
So it was a big raid, and people started busting out everywhere, and nothing happened to them. And I said, wow, because I like to learn, right? I could say these things on this video. I say, so why not you guys? What happened to you guys? They're like, well, we have our paperwork. Why should we run? Exactly. I'm like, exactly. Common sense and logic. You know what I mean? You don't run just because you're scared, and nothing happened to them. And then another story he ended up telling me was that, I asked him, I go, do you know anybody that has been deported just because? And he says, yeah, I had a friend I think he's from Ecuador. His friend is, and got arrested, got getting ready to get deported, was sent from here, California, to Texas,
Okay.
and then to New Mexico, and then back to Texas, and then eventually ended up in Mexico. And being friends, I guess they communicated, and that dude told him that when he was in Mexico, he got beat up, he got robbed, and then got deported. You know what I mean? And he was in jail too for a few days and got mistreated there too. This is coming from him. He's a Mexican guy. You know what I mean?
Well, let me ask you: is he illegal? He was
illegal here. Yeah.
Okay.
He was
He
illegal
was
here
illegally.
And of course, my neighbor, his buddy, he doesn't know if he has a criminal record or not because, again, like I said, we don't know each other 100%. I mean, not even family knows each other 100%.
Yeah, no, you never know. Yeah.
So stop interfering with their job. Let them do their job. Let these idiots, the leaders of the state, interfere and make it worse for them because these guys, they're not for you guys. Yeah. These Democrats have been in power for decades, and they have never, ever, ever done any good for Latinos.
Right.
You know what I mean? False promises all the time.
Yeah. That's all it is.
So you guys keep voting for them, keeping them in power. You're never going to see that change. Maybe Trump, man. Maybe once he gets rid of all these people that were let in, maybe he'll find a way to keep the ones already here and give them some, a proper channel to stay here illegally. I think he's willing to do that. You guys, this guy, he doesn't have a hate for brown skinned people or Latinos or Mexicans, whatever you want to call
Contrary
it.
to what everybody's telling you, what the media says, I don't believe it either.
Yeah, you know what I mean. You guys need to do some research or common sense and logic, man.
Yeah.
Look at what he's doing versus what you're hearing from the media. I mean, this guy can't even fart, man, without the media making a big old freaking stink out of it. You know what I mean?
He can't do no
it's
right.
Nuts. It's bananas. You know what I mean? But yeah, you got anything else to say?
No, that's it. Just yeah. I mean, once again, if you're gonna protest, just do it peacefully, and it's all about having conversations when you're talking with people and discussing topics. Just try to find a middle ground. Whatever your common sense tells you,
Yeah, this raid that I was talking about earlier at Camarillo or Ventura, someplace, the pot farm. You guys look it up. The reason why they were there was the main primary reason why they went there was because somehow they found out that there were minors there. So if you guys are defending that and you're upset because they're deporting or who knows what they're going to do with those minors, guess what? They're actually being helped because you don't know if they got traffic in there. They're being enslaved to do those jobs. And if you're defending them and you're upset, then you're basically saying that you're okay with children being enslaved, like in China and other places. Does that make any sense?
Right. Yeah. It sounds like they're being mistreated, just being underage, and they're working. That shouldn't be happening, anyways. Yeah.
Yeah. So this goes even for adults, illegal adults. You know what I mean? They come in here not the right way, and then they're still able to get jobs. But guess what? They're not getting paid what they should be getting paid. So you guys are approving that in a sense too. You guys are saying that you're okay with that when it's not okay. You know what I mean? Like, how are you okay with somebody getting a job that's supposed to be paying $20 an hour and maybe they're getting like maybe hopefully half of that, 10? Does that make any sense?
Yeah. No.
I mean,
That's they're being exploited pretty much. If they're getting well below the minimum wage, it's just they're being exploited.
and you guys are okay with that.
Yeah.
Like, show me how that makes any sense.
It doesn't.
It doesn't. You know who you guys are helping out? The people that own those companies. That's who you're
The
helping out.
employer. Yeah.
So in one sense, you're saying F the rich people, they don't do enough for us. But on this scenarios, you're saying okay, because they're the ones that are making the money. Cheap labor. These guys that build homes and all that, yes, they do a good work. Yes, they do want to work, but they're not getting paid what they should.
Right.
And who's taking advantage of that? Think, man. That's where your common sense
Yeah.
and logic should kick in.
For them, in a sense, it's good because they're getting paid under the table, so they don't have to pay taxes. So yeah, they're getting paid well below what they should be paying, but they're not paying taxes. That's the whole problem. That's a big issue there. But they are being exploited.
Yeah, you know what I mean. That's a whole different issue,
Yeah.
and we're making this a little too long, but that comes into play. Paying taxes and all that.
Yeah, we'll have plenty of other episodes where we discuss different topics. Come back to this one because this is a big deportation is illegal. I mean, immigration is a big topic, so we'll come back to it.
Yeah,
But we just wanted to keep it short. This being our first episode, just kind of give you an idea what we do, what we're going to be talking about. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with us, especially with the if you're have the same color as we do, you're going to be disagreeing. But leave your feedback, man. It's just not be disrespectful. Just leave your feedback. We're open to see what you guys have to say, and we'll come to a middle ground and see off of what you tell us.
yeah. Disagree with us or agree with us, as long as you make sense of it.
Yeah.
Don't just say, "Oh, you guys are calling names," and
Yeah, you guys have a big nopal in your head. It's like
yeah,
that's
we know that.
That's just childish. What do you call it? Put downs, and
Yeah.
and if we don't need that, just smart conversation. Let's just discuss.
Yeah, and I'll say it. You heard it before, and I'll say it again. If you're in this country, you're here for a reason, right? You got a nopal in your forehead too. How come you don't leave? It's easy. You guys aren't even getting paid right now to self-deport yourself. So leave. You guys are Americans. There's nothing wrong with being an American. That should be a pride to be an American. I have that pride. You know what I mean? I've been called names. So who's being racist? And it's not the whites are calling me names. It's my own
Right.
gente. You know what I mean? That are calling me names. You know what I mean? Only because I love America. I'm here. I'm gonna be here. I've never gone back to where my parents are from, or my mom. You know what I mean? Like, it's not because I don't like it. It's a beautiful country, but they don't have, what we have here, law and order. You know what I
And
mean?
that's why everybody moves out here, man. Yeah, we love our home. We love the United States. I'm proud of my Mexican heritage, but this is my home, the
It's
U.S.
a beautiful country, man. Mexico is so gorgeous, dude.
It is.
But look what's happening over there. There's no rules, right? So everything's corrupt.
Yeah.
So do you guys want that here? No, you don't. You're trying to create that here, which it doesn't make any sense either. You know what I mean? Like, you guys are trying to do everything that they do in those countries and bring it in here. which it makes no sense. It's almost like you're moving out from a house where either was already uh, a, 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 a mud room, or just a house that's torn down, and then you move into a brand new house, and eventually you're turning it into the same old house that you moved from. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Don't you want to move into a house and take care of it and maintain it that way the best you can? So that's what you should be doing to this country. Be proud to be an American. Be proud to be here. Yeah, sure. You're proud to be from someplace else. Nobody's telling you to forget about your roots. My dad, he's an American. He told me that. He goes, I'm not asking you to forget where your mom's from, but this is your house. This is your country. You respect it, you love it, and you earn it. Don't be here to take hand me downs. Like, you just get benefits for free. Like, a lot of people do that, and there's a lot of people, Hispanics and a lot of whites, all kinds of people do that. They take advantage of the system where other countries do not offer none of that.
Yeah, that's what it is. But yeah, we'll leave you with that. Any feedback is more than welcome. Just leave us your comments, and we'll read them and see what we could improve on. But
Yeah, keep an
thank
eye
you.
out. We're gonna be doing this every week, and my name is Ronnie. That's Caesar.
Thank you for tuning in.
Thank you, and remember, if you got common sense and logic, you're gonna understand what we're talking about. If you don't, then stay tuned and learn some more.
Take it from just a couple of regular guys, man.
That's right.
All right, see you.